Today I am with Kenyon from Centracom, which is one of the most well-known telecommunications provider in Utah. We're going to be going over the use case here at Thoughtly and getting to know their business a little bit better here. So with that, pleasure to have you on, Kenyon. So I want to first start things out by touching a little bit about what Centracom is and what you do inside of the business.
So Centracom, we started out as a phone company um, years and years ago, and I think late 90s, early 2000s, the internet was introduced to this company via dial-up, and then from there it just kind of grew and grew into what we are now. Now we offer various connection types such as cable internet, fiber, fixed wireless, etc.
Mm-hmm.
My role is so my title is head of emerging technologies and strategic development. So any way that I can see the company could be benefited, either where cutting costs while also improving productivity, whether it's changing out the technology that we use or introducing new technology. That's kind of where.
Yeah, which is exactly why we ended up crossing paths. Tell me a little bit about how you found us and how AI voice agents first came across your desk.
Sure. So I was actually in a different department, internet support and IT and network engineering, and what I was paying attention to AI. So ChatGPT, I think 3 was out when I started thinking about this. I was like, man, our tier 1 service for customer support was not doing well to our standards. It was frustrating customers, long call times. People felt like they're being outsourced, and I was like, well, what's a solution? And then 3.4 dropped of ChatGPT, and I went, this is actually tip of the iceberg. This could actually open the doors to some of this. So I started playing around with API keys through OpenAI, using Dialogflow through Google, GCP Cloud, things like that. And it's doable, but for the scale that we need and the time frame that we needed, I started looking into companies that do what you do, which is a solution for an automated agent to do this type of stuff. There wasn't anything specifically made for an ISP in terms of troubleshooting. It's still relatively new waters.
Mm-hmm.
And so we looked at a few companies and they just kind of weren't hitting that mark. And my boss Dallas actually came across you guys, and then I started doing some research after he told me about you. I started playing around with the agent builder and really liked it. It gave a Figma feel, which I really like as well. And so then, yeah, we contacted you and kind of introduced you to what our idea was, and you guys like it. Here we are.
That plays a great segue into my next question, which is if you could just let us know exactly what it is that we fulfilled and what it is that you did previously for your inbound phone calls.
Yeah, so you guys have shown that you're willing to grow with us, even though Thoughtly wasn't, I think, originally built for troubleshooting.
Hmm.
I think you, Tori, and everybody else involved really liked the idea. And so over time, it's just been this building process. I mean, how many agents have we gone through? Like a lot, until we've landed on this one that seems to be working really well. So yeah, you guys have been fantastic in terms of being willing to build with us.
And the basic cause of this agent is to troubleshoot for the tier 1 support, meaning that somebody comes in with an issue. Just for clarification, somebody comes in with an issue about their internet service being down, or perhaps their billing, or any issue they might bring to the tier 1 support. That's all handled through AI now. My question to you is, what did you guys do previously before AI would come along and do this for you?
So previously we outsourced to a company in Georgia. So it's your standard call center, and they have their own decision tree that they follow, and the decision tree can get a little too in depth, in my opinion, for what they should be doing, because we also have our in-house tier 2 agents that uh, take it over if it's a more advanced problem. But yeah, so that's what we've been using, as an outsourced company to handle the calls.
And just so we have better context of how many calls were coming in, how many calls would you guys see every single day, and going to that phone tree out in Georgia?
It varies, so especially with our coax cable system for internet, when you get temperature, it changes the caliber of the copper, which can create all sorts of issues with bandwidth and connection. So when things heat up, you start to get an influx of calls. So April and May, I couldn't get the exact numbers, but it's a lot, because that's when everything starts to go wrong and we get a lot of calls. Same with fall, when it starts to cool down. We get a lot of calls, but not as much as the heat. The heat really kind of messes with things. I couldn't get an exact number for this. They didn't get that back to me in time, but we have close to 30,000 residential customers.
And
Yeah.
and just for our sake, and feel free to round up if you'd like, but out of all of the calls that are coming into your business, what percentage is now taken care of by an AI voice agent?
From that, it's about, I think you're taking about 3,000 right now, so that's about, rounding out, that's about 12%.
Okay, yeah, and as you know, we've only grown into more and more calls daily, so that's great to hear. And in terms of reducing headcount, reducing allocation of funds, do you have a grasp on how well we've done there?
Yeah. So we pay quarterly for this service, and I think it comes out to about 80,000 a year. And right now we're paying close to probably $500,000.
Wow.
For just the outsourced service. That doesn't include just the phone support; it includes some other services as well. But Thoughtly has opened the door for a lot of different opportunities, so that we can potentially replace that call center, that company entirely, through means of other companies as well.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that. And on that note, have you guys had any maybe fun quotes or initial thoughts when AI was taking these calls?
Don't have a fun quote, but we do have some fun situations, both somewhat negative, somewhat positive.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the AI side, but the ones that are angry when they call in are probably going to be mad no matter who they talk to.
Yeah.
And then you get the older people that want to talk about their day and ramble on. And surprisingly, the agent handled the rambling and the talking about their grandkids and stuff incredibly well. One of the instances, she's just said, "Okay, let's get back to the task at hand. I don't want to hear about your grandkids." She didn't say that, but it was kind of all right, we're going to get back to troubleshooting. And the other one, she listened to the lady just ramble on about her life and eventually submitted a ticket, which was great. That's going to save a headache for tier 2 techs. But yeah, no quotes specifically, but I'm sure we could find some.
Absolutely, I get that. And with that in mind, where do you see this tech growing into? When you say going fully live, what would it look like inside of Centracom's business when this is fully ramped up to its highest potential?
Its highest potential, I see this handling, I mean, as technology grows and as we implement more API links that the agent can dip into, I see this being able to handle and view some of our internal systems for each internet service. I think it should be handling those pretty adequately, as well as ping monitoring to see if there are outages, things like that, because that's a pain point right now. Is people don't know they're in an outage until they call in, and we don't really have an effective way to say, "Hey, there's an outage in your area." But the agent could potentially dip into some of our systems and say, "Oh yeah, in your area, in your general area, there's an outage and it's currently being worked on," which would save, a ton of headache. I guess, yeah, I guess in that, to its highest extent, it goes more than just a tier 1 agent. It goes into a full system
Mm-hmm.
that everything is just kind of cooperating with which I think is, like you said, it's my Mona Lisa.
I know that we've discussed that kind of behind the scenes, and I'm excited for what's to come with Centracom. But with that, any last thoughts? Anything that you'd like to add before we wrap up here?
I think I'm good. I'm excited to see how this all unfolds in the future.
As am I, Kenyon. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. We've had fun every step of the way, and we can't wait to continue to crush it for you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Same here.
Thanks for the time, Kenyon.